Hey, man.
What's going on?
Hey, buddy. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, man. No complaints.
I'm super excited.
Out in my front porch office.
Oh, nice, man. It looks nice out there. It looks nicer than it is here. It's cloudy in Nashville right now.
Well, it's not for long, man. Like, we got a 50% chance of rain, and everybody's saying, like, 2 o'clock. All the news channels saying the same thing.
2 o'clock. Then you got to go inside. What time is it there right now?
Right now it's 11.
All right, so we got like 3 hours. Perfect. No, I'm just kidding.
I got plenty of time.
I gotta tell you, man, I'm super excited. Look at this. I still got my Nation of Domination Mark Henry toy, man.
Hell yeah.
Look at that. Look at that. And then my son actually has his too. So we've been collecting the figures for a little while now.
Man, you got to get in contact with Mark Conway. He's got a comic book and action figure show. And I want to put you in contact with Zach Ryder, too. Zach Ryder has an unbelievable collection, like millions of dollars of stuff. Like, he can pull out some of that historical stuff that'll just make your head spin. Not to mention wrestling. He is him and Cody Rhodes collect a lot of Star Wars stuff. So they got so much stuff, man. They really into it.
I know. I've listened to their podcast a couple times. It's pretty awesome. I'm
kind of jealous.
Say what?
I'm kind of jealous.
How's quarantine been going for you? Since a lot of gyms are closed, have you started doing Pilates at home?
No, I'm actually lucky in the sense that I have a friend that owns a gym, and I can get in there and work out without no people around, and work out with my friends, with my kids, and two of their friends are shot putters and football players, and I've been working with them.
Nice. That's awesome. Yeah, my girlfriend's a personal trainer, so we turned our garage into a gym, and I've got like the Rocky 3 posters hanging up in there, and I go get it, man. You have to, especially right now. I hear you're a big comic book guy. So the big question, are you Marvel or DC?
Mostly Marvel.
Mostly Marvel? You got a favorite character?
The only thing you said my favorite character in Marvel?
Sure.
Man, people gonna get mad at me because with all of the stuff going on, Thanos somehow has superseded the Incredible Hulk. And I love this whole Marvel universe, and I just think that they built Thanos to be such an unbelievable character. How can you not? A guy that the Hulk can't beat him by himself. None of the individual characters in the universe can beat him. So why would he not be your favorite character? Good or bad?
Well, I mean, you can't argue with your logic at all.
I mean,
are you there? You're freezing up on me a little bit.
Yeah, it did freeze up for a second. I'm outside. I don't want to go in the house because the kids are screaming and yelling and eating breakfast and making a lot of racket. But
oh, it's okay. That doesn't bother me at all. I got a kid. I understand.
Man, you love them, but sometimes you want to just right across the lips.
I know. I mean, let's not get in trouble talking about beating our children, but I understand.
Oh, man, sometimes you need it, man. Spread around for the child.
I know. So yesterday it got announced that the Snyder Cut is coming to HBO Max for Justice League. Are you looking forward to watching that at all?
I am. I'm a big-time Justice League fan. I think that it's one of the most underrated series that have come out. I just hope that it's as good as what's already been put out there.
Yeah, they're saying it's going to be like 4 hours long, so it's a lot.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's probably a good thing they're not having it in theaters because we'd need bathroom breaks.
You got a tiny bladder?
I got a little dainty bladder, man. I'm not gonna lie, I own it.
Well, you can't drink a lot of drinks. Just eat popcorn.
There you go. That's how you do it. So something that I've always loved about pro wrestling is that like superheroes and pro wrestling kind of mix. You know, I was a Hulk Hogan guy growing up, and I think the reason that I fell in love with pro wrestling in the first place was because Hulk Hogan was the first guy that sort of reminded me of He-Man. You know, so were you into superheroes or were you into pro wrestling first?
I think I was into pro wrestling first, and then you started to have the G.I. Joes of the world, the He-Mans, the Thundercats, and all of the stuff that I used to watch during that same time period. But wrestling was first.
Okay. Who's your first guy that you kind of fell in love with? Andre
And Junkyard Dog.
I saw Andre one time in Nashville for a Saturday Night's Main Event. I was like 5 years old.
Well, I think I saw him in person when I was 10 at the Beaumont Civic Center. And I just was blown away, man. I mean, I was like, that's the biggest human being on earth. I knew that there was nobody on the planet bigger than him.
Yeah.
And at one point, he did kind of like what we would consider now a choke slam, but he grabbed the guy by the neck and picked him up and held him by his back. And this guy was probably, Nam was probably 6'6", 280 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
And he walked all the way around the ring, all four corners, holding this dude up over his head in his chest. And I was just like, oh my God, like this is not magic.
Mm-hmm.
I'm seeing it with my own eyes. I was Andre fan, man.
Yeah, no, he's unbelievable. I mean, when I started watching him, he was already kind of like, he was breaking down a little bit. But if you go back and watch his stuff in the 70s, I mean, the way that guy could move for his size was just insane. It was incredible.
All you got to do is go and watch the $6 Million Man.
Yeah.
He played, God, what was the character? Sasquatch. He played the character of the Sasquatch. And I mean, I think some people know, but there's a scene in there where in the trailer before the show where he's running and he jumps over this little stream. And it's probably about a 5-foot jump, which, 5-foot jump is nothing for you and me.
It's a lot for me. I'm not a jumper either.
But if you 7'3", 400 pounds, 450 pounds,
yeah,
and you running and you in stride, you just jump over the stream. He was an unbelievable athlete at that size.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was awesome. So one thing that I've seen too is that like a lot of WWE superstars over the years have gotten their own comic books. I remember like Undertaker had a comic book, and Ultimate Warrior had a comic book. So why didn't the World's Strongest Man ever get his own comic book?
I don't know, man. I guess I didn't push him the way that other guys, stayed in their face and pushed them. I was on the cover of me and John Cena fighting in one of the WWE comics. I'll send you a snapshot of it in IG in the DMs after this is over. But I love comics. I think that I didn't like Ragnarok and the one that came before.
You said you didn't like Ragnarok?
I mean, I kind of like, but I didn't like the fact that they didn't stick to the original comics, to the graphic novel.
To Planet Hulk?
Yeah, like World War Hulk was my favorite comic of all time because of the underlying story of Hulk falling in love, or Hulk being shipped out into another dimension and falling in love and being put into slavery and fighting his way out of slavery And then all of a sudden now the powers that be blow up the ship and kill his family.
Yeah.
And when he stopped on the moon and met with the Inhumans, like they could have did a whole movie on Hulk versus the Inhumans.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, I was pissed, and then it just skipped over everything. And imagine Hulk landing in New York City, like Thanos's sorcerer did, and Hulk saying, "Evacuate New York City if you're not the Avengers."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because all the Avengers are going to die. Yeah. And now Hulk can talk because he's Bruce Banner and Hulk, because when he went through the dimensionary phase, it was both. He became both men. He was able to control his intellect with his strength, which made him really dangerous.
I like that explanation a lot better for Hulk becoming Smart Hulk in the Avengers, because the way they have it is it's just 5 years later and then he's Smart Hulk for no real reason. It doesn't explain how. So I like that way better. I would have preferred they had done something like that.
And you know, like that whole thing, there was so much that was missed. And people that watch Marvel just watch the movies and they don't read the graphic novels, then of course they're going to like what they got. But you and we're sitting in the theater going, wait a minute. This is World War Hulk and Ragnarok and different series put together. And it's confusing. Like you just said, you were confused. You never got an explanation.
Right.
It's like the real fans see the holes in the stories.
Sure. I have to let a lot of stuff go just because I realize that, I mean, it's just like adapting, books to movies, like the Harry Potter series and all that stuff. The books are so big that the movies would be huge if you adapted the whole thing. So I try to let that stuff go, but I'm with you. There's definitely things that they changed that I'm always like, well, it was already there for you. Why'd you change it?
Yeah.
It was right there.
Just a lob. Just lob it up.
Yeah, right. So like a lot of the superstars now are starting to wear a lot of comic book inspired gear. I know New Day are always rocking like anime and video game stuff. Did you ever think about doing anything like that with your gear? Or if you had, who would you have maybe based some of your gear off of?
Oh man. If I was going to do it, I guess I would almost have to be the Hulk, because, being such a Hulk fan, I mean, I guess in this modern time, don in the Thanos type of outfit. But I would actually have to probably wear Thanos, because in the latter part of my career, it was all serious business and it was about destroying everybody. So, Thanos is where I think I would have laid my hat.
Yeah, I feel like you or Big Show would have had to come out with a gauntlet on it at some point and just knock people out.
I can see that.
So speaking of, there's not a lot of guys in WWE who have like the longevity that you've had, man. I mean, you were in the New Gen and Attitude and Ruthless Aggression, PG, all that. I mean, you've been through all that. I mean, the action figures, right? I mean, this is two different eras here. So what's a particular era that stands out as your favorite to perform in? I can take mine right now, Sexual Chocolate, man. It's so funny. I can't even tell you how much I love Sexual Chocolate back in the day.
Sexual Chocolate was so much fun too, because it's not very often that an idea comes to your head where the whole point of your existence is not winning.
Yeah.
The whole point of your existence is to get the girl. And to entertain people in the process, because the way I pitched it, I was like, look, it's not about wins with me. Like, I want to be in a situation where I could win a title or things could go really good, but oh, hey girl, how you doing? What's up? Hey, I'm gonna get your number. Bam, somebody rolls me up, 1, 2, 3, and I'm pissed. And then I go, you know what? come here, let me talk to you. And then and people laughed their ass off. And
Yeah.
I had so much fun doing that.
Yeah. Oh, it was definitely my personal favorite. I love that part. But is that yours too? Was Sexual Chocolate, or did you just have fun doing all this?
I had fun doing Sexual Chocolate. I think that the best part of my experience was the Nation of Domination and the learning process, the learning curve that I had. You know, everybody in the nation, with the exception of the late great Owen Hart and D'Lo Brown, are in the Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody. Well, The Rock is not in the Hall of Fame, but at some point, The Rock is going to be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, he's a shoe.
So, and I think D'Lo, you know, when the Nation of Domination gets put into the Hall of Fame, D'Lo will be a Hall of Famer. Sure. And so everybody in the nation is in the Hall of Fame. So how can you not learn and be like them if you are able to copy and emulate what they taught you?
Mm-hmm. I got to say, too, shout out to D'Lo for having the most underrated frog splash ever. The lowdown was great. I don't know why people don't bring that up more often. I love the way he did a frog splash.
Yeah, man, he did. I mean, it truly was different than everybody ever did it. And some guys tried to emulate it and replicate it, but it's never been duplicated.
Never could. I gotta say, man, one of my it's in my top 5 promos of all time, probably for sure, was the retirement swerve that you did. That was so good. Is there anything you can in fact, I feel like it was almost so good that's why you kind of low-key retired afterwards, because people wouldn't believe you. Yeah, they wouldn't even believe you. They'd be like, he's so full of it, he ain't gonna do it again.
No, I've had somebody go, wait a minute, like you retired for real? And I was like, yes. I was. The reason that it was such a good retirement because it really was. Mm-hmm. It's just that it was so good that Vince was like, listen, you this is the time to pull the rug out from under everybody. Everybody knows you're going to retire. They know you're going to retire.
Right.
This is the time.
Yeah.
And you know, that was Vince, because I was ready to make peace with it. And after the John Cena matches, then I retired. Mm-hmm. Because I didn't feel like there was nothing else left for me to prove or nothing else for me to accomplish. And there were people that was like, well, why didn't you win the Universal Championship? I was world champion.
Yeah.
And regardless of what label you put on it, it's still being the best in the business.
Yeah.
And there have been champions that were not the best in the business, that they were a placeholder. They were an anomaly, something that you just put out there to entertain, to snatch it away. I wasn't that guy. Mm-hmm. I worked my rear end off to get to the top, and people paid money to see me. Right. And that was the culminating event for me. Like, you know, you win the Super Bowl, you want to retire on top.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a great way to go out. With quarantine now going on, are there any, and everything's been pushed back, right? Everything's been delayed and pushed back. For 2021 coming up, are there any particular comic book movies that you're most looking forward to?
You know what? I was really looking forward to seeing Johansson come in and the host, her whole story, mm-hmm. The background stories, because we know that how she was trained.
Right.
They always make references to it, but you know, to see the Taskmaster and all of that went along with Black Widow, I was really wanting to see that.
Yeah.
And they had me, you know, at the sense that Taskmaster was one of my favorite characters because he could emulate and copy everybody's abilities. And I just wanted to see how they were going to do that.
Yeah. Well, we'll still see it. It just won't be till like October now.
Oh my gosh. I mean, and also I'm looking forward to seeing what they're going to do with the next Black Panther.
Yeah.
Being that they're opening up a place in the United States, and how that's going to transpire in the Marvel universe. Who's going to be the foil that's going to come and be the antagonist for Black Panther in America? Like, man, it's going to be something else.
Yeah. Considering the fact that you're the world's strongest man, what do you make of Robert Pattinson refusing to work out as Batman? Did you hear about that?
Say it again.
So Robert Pattinson had a GQ interview, and he basically said during quarantine he was feeling too lazy to work out. He didn't feel like working out. So I was going to see what you thought about Batman not wanting to work out.
Come on, man. That's ridiculous. This is the first that I've heard of it.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, do you know what role that you're playing?
Yeah.
There's going to be a reveal at some point where Batman takes his gear off, and you see what the body underneath looks like.
Yeah.
That's what you sign up for. You sign up to be a body guy.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you to a certain extent. I mean, Michael Keaton did okay not being a body guy, but that was 30 years ago. And his suit was awesome, so it kind of covered that up a little bit. But I feel like nowadays, if you sign up to be a superhero, you kind of know what you're getting yourself into.
That's like having a vegetarian Batman.
Yeah, we don't want that.
The Hulk went vegan.
Yeah, Hulk.
It's ridiculous.
Maybe that's why he lost to Thanos. Maybe right beforehand he had switched over to a vegan. We gotta stop talking. We're gonna get people in trouble. No, so man, thank you so much for talking to me. I don't want to keep you too long. I know you got other stuff to do and your family's home.
We didn't get started.
Oh, you want to keep going? I'll keep going.
Listen, man, we didn't even get to talk about, and I'm a DC guy too. The Mandalorian. We never. I mean, the whole Star Wars saga is like, where is Star Wars going to go next? And
yeah.
Even though I loved the ending, but I hated the final shots.
Well, what do you think about Boba Fett coming back for the second season?
Well, I mean, I love the fact that Boba Fett is coming back, but I wanted it to be the transitionary phase. Like, you kind of got to show where Boba Fett got killed, where he actually became a bad guy, a mercenary for hire, which all Mandalorians were mercenaries for hire. But he started working for Darth Vader. He started working for the Dark Order. And now his son, he dies, and his son takes over the mantle for being, that next Boba Fett. I rather switch, and they show one of those scenes, and then you say, and 15 years later. And then you start doing the backstory of how his son, holding his helmet, goes to being him now. And it shows his journey to become the soldier that his father was.
Right.
And, him going and searching out all the best fighters in the galaxy to teach him like his father learned.
Yeah.
And then he finds an old Yoda-like guy that, is, for lack of a better term, the apprentice to someone that taught the Mandalorian how to be who they became. Those kind of stories would be the ones that I would be the most interested in.
Yeah.
And some of it is kind of detailed and backstory oriented, but that's what Star Wars has been this whole time, is telling the backstory as it was live.
Yeah. Yeah. Mandalorian was probably the first thing that's come out Star Wars that really excited me about Star Wars, like in a long time, like since the original trilogy. I thought Mandalorian was so well done. I love the first season. I can't wait for the second season. They've been saying that, I don't know if this is true or if you could confirm it or not, but I know that they've been saying Sasha Banks has a part in the second season of Mandalorian. So if that's true, that'll be awesome to check out.
Wow, man, that's pretty damn exciting. Which something I didn't hear.
Yeah, that's the word on the street. I don't think it's been confirmed, but there's a lot of rumors going around that she's going to be in it.
I got to get into this Marvel or DC universe, man. I love the stuff, and if somebody came to me and said, Mark, I think you would be great at being this guy, I'd be like, okay, sold.
If actually, now that Snyder is doing the Snyder cut, I know a lot of people are hoping to see Darkseid. You could totally play Darkseid since Thanos is already taken. You could be Darkseid.
I can fold my arms just like him.
Yeah, you're probably you'd be a lot bigger than Henry and Ben too. We need somebody that's real big. Tower over.
Yeah. Darkseid is, I saw some of the comics were really, really good. Watching the fight scenes in the comics with Darkseid and Superman, the stuff that they did was really damn impressive. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't so outlandish that you couldn't replicate it with humans.
Yeah.
And with a little smoke and mirrors and bells and whistles, it can be pretty damn impressive. I love to be Darkseid. Well, matter of fact, I'm going to take this time right now to say that I want to be Darkseid.
There you go. We're going to put it on our site that you said that. We're just going to start a petition for Mark Henry as Darkseid.
Yeah,
man. Get you in the DCEU. That'd be fantastic. I support that 100%. I think that'd be awesome.
Let's see.
Because of the retirement swerve, we know you can act. So
Darkseid didn't do much crying. Darkseid did a lot of ass kicking.
That's true. That's an even better point. We don't need a Darkseid with tears. We need a Darkseid that's kicking the crap out of people.
No tears. Straight heat.
So we already established that like Hulk got beat up by Thanos, but one of the big questions that fans always argue over is who's stronger between Superman and Hulk. Who do you think's got that one?
I think that the Hulk that we have grown to know and love, Hulk, we've seen Hulk get tired. Mm-hmm. We've seen Hulk get fatigued. We've never seen Superman without kryptonite get tired or fatigued. Yeah. So strength is only going to last so long until you get tired. And I forget. I think it was God. I guess it was maybe it wasn't Dean Smith that said fatigue makes cowards of us all. Mm-hmm. Can't remember who made the saying, but it's exactly true. Like you're a shell of your former self. Once you're tired, you're not average, but you're just above average.
Right.
You're fatigued. So I'd have to give Superman the nod. Oh man, that's hard to say.
Well, at least
just hurt my soul.
At least what you have going for you is there's no wrong answer. No wrong answer. Because it's always, it's up to the writers, right? You can always write one or two of them. But I'm kind of with you. I feel like unless Hulk gets his hands on some kryptonite, it's probably going to go to Superman.
Whatever happened to the fact that the angrier the Hulk got, the bigger he got and the more powerful he got? They went away with that philosophy somewhere along the line.
Yeah. Eventually he's going to get so mad that you would think he probably would explode. So I don't know. We don't want to see that either. So
no, I don't want to see that either.
So are you excited about Falcon possibly taking over the mantle as Captain America in the new Disney series? Have you kept up with that?
I am. I think that's a good look for him. But are they going to give him some kind of backstory to him being more powerful? Because even Tony Stark is vulnerable as a man. You're fighting demigods and superhumans. Something is going to have to happen for him to be Captain America.
Right.
I mean, the reason that Captain America was Captain America is because he was a super soldier.
Yeah.
And, maybe somebody feels like, hey, I'm going to turn him evil. And the one way to do that is to give him this, intravenous chemical that makes him, a zombie, but somehow he kicks out, but he's got powers now. I don't know. I mean, you can ask me, y'all can call me and ask me all of my conspiracy theories and ideas, because I feel like I've got a few of them.
Oh, I love it, man. That's what we're here for. We're just talking shop, man. Just talking about comic books. I actually had no idea that you were such a big comic book guy, and I am pleasantly surprised. It's awesome.
Man, I mean, you didn't think that I was a nerd. I was nerd quality.
You're a closet nerd, man.
Ain't nothing wrong with it.
Who do you like nerding out with most behind the scenes with WWE? Who do you usually have these conversations with?
Oh my God, Shane Helms, Hurricane.
Oh, I love Shane. Me and Hurricane actually we hung out a little bit when I was working with TNA, and I love that guy so much. We text each other every now and then, but shout out to Hurricane. He's like one of my favorite dudes in pro wrestling.
He's one of the best people on the planet, man. And also Mike Bucci, aka Nova.
Yeah.
Nova's is a big one. Man, we just sit and talk about Cody Rhodes, man. Like, it's mostly Star Wars with us. It's not so much the graphic novels and comics. But I've been told that some of the last 2 or 3 year Incredible Hulk stuff is really, really good. So when this pandemic, when I could find a place where I could go in and talk to some experts about, what it is that's the best Hulk stuff, I'm going to do that, because I did some of these Comic-Cons and I ran into guys, and everybody keeps saying that, man, you need to get back into the Hulk stuff. Like, yeah. It's really good.
Yeah, I haven't been keeping up with a lot of the recent Hulk stuff. I'm with you. I like World War Hulk. I like Planet Hulk. And then when I was a kid, I mean, any comic that had Hulk taking on Juggernaut, I was always into that. I love seeing those guys duke it out. That was always a lot of fun for me. Bringing it back, you're talking about how you and Cody always talk Star Wars. I've never talked to Cody before, but how did you feel about the Star Wars saga ending? Did you like the way that it ended? Because a lot of people seem kind of torn on Rise of Skywalker.
I like the way it ended. I just didn't like the celebration. I thought that was a little bit too much. If you're going to celebrate and then have something happen to where everybody's like happy and, oh my God, everything's great. And then you go, oh my God, what is that? And then there's a reveal, but then it's not completely, okay, the world is going to end again. It's like this person is a catalyst for the world ending.
Right.
And they didn't do that. And I thought that that was the only thing that it was lacking. I would have liked it going away from it going, wow, man, I can't believe this Palpatine is now a Jedi, and right. Also some of the worst power of the Sith in the galaxy, and now there's somebody that makes them go, oh my God, who is that person? And I never read the comics.
Yeah.
For Star Wars.
I didn't either. I don't read the comics.
I've had a couple of friends of mine that are really deep into it. They say, man, there's guys in the comic version of Star Wars and in the graphic novels that make Darth Vader look like a pawn.
Yeah.
And I'm like, get out of here. And they's like, nah, some of these dudes are evil, man. I mean, they Thanos evil. Like, they snap their fingers and skin comes off. And I'm like, oh, wow. Okay, I need to see some of these guys.
I know. They're like Mortal Kombat characters.
Yeah, like, why not introduce one of those?
Yeah. Did you like that Palpatine came back from the dead, or are you kind of do you not like when they bring people back? I'm a little torn on it. I feel like I don't know. I kind of think it cheapens it a little bit.
Yeah, I thought it was a little weird. Like, I mean, he was supposed to be dead, and the way that they banished him, the way that he died, I was like, yeah, I can see that. But they, the thing in Star Wars is Star Wars has always been about consciousness, about the mental and the spirit coming back. They did not make it the spirit. They made an actual physical form come back.
Mm-hmm.
And why not have a Palpatine character be put into somebody else's body, and they finally find a way to get rid of the spirit? That's what I think a better story would have been. But you know, I'm not writing the stuff.
Yeah, for sure. Man, this has been awesome talking to you. One thing I wanted to ask you about was um, with everything going on right now with Shad, which I know you guys are really close, and I have a lot of mutual friends with him, but I never actually got the opportunity to meet him. But from everything I've heard, it sounds like he was like just an amazing guy, and
He was. He was.
so I was just curious, man, if you didn't mind sharing like maybe one of your fondest memories or you know, a good story with you and Shad together.
Well, I'll share the last memory was before the pandemic hit. I was in Los Angeles, and I went to. I invited him to come to one of Jay Glazer's town meetings, basically at Unbreakable Gym.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of celebrities and stars hang out there, athletes, professional athletes. But there's a program called MVP that's based out of there, and that's, you know, merging veterans and players. And I wanted him to meet Jay Glazer, and let's try to get some of these wrestlers, pro wrestlers that have fallen short, you know, lost the prestige that they once had. You know, I mean, there were guys in there like Ryan Leaf,
Yeah.
who came out of jail, got off drugs, and is now a pillar to his community, back on Fox, doing great work.
Yeah.
And being and the MVP program is the vehicle that got that done. And I wanted Shad to be the guy in Los Angeles to try to like put that together for wrestlers, to get some wrestlers involved. And so I introduced him and get him and Jay. And that day, I don't know why, I just had on some floral shorts. You know, they had flowers all over them and stuff. And I posted a photo of it, of me and him, and he was roasting me. He was like, "Oh my God, you have a whole greenhouse on your pants." And he's roasting me. And that was Shad, man. He was a very positive guy. He was always trying to be positive. He had finally he had wrote a screenplay that got picked up, and I want to make sure that movie gets made, that he was working on, because he was special that way.
Yeah, no, the whole situation's just heartbreaking and hard to talk about, I'm sure. I hated
we talk about real life superheroes, like the way he passed was a real live superhero.
Yeah.
You know, when he saw the jet skis coming out to rescue them, he threw his son over a wave and said, "Take my son." And then he got caught in the undertow. It's like something out of a movie. Like you don't see that kind of heroics.
Yeah.
It was just, you know, it's rough, man.
Yeah, no doubt, man. Definitely, I've heard nothing but nice things about the guy, and I'm my condolences to you and all of his friends. I mean, that's just I hated to hear it.
Yeah, it was pretty rough. You know, I'm trying to stay positive, you know, keep everything moving. tomorrow is going to be a brighter day.
Yeah.
I just wanted people to respect his family's privacy and space right now. Just let them grieve and let them mourn him, and we'll reconvene at a later date to try to honor him.
Yeah.
And make sure that his son is all right, because his son is one of ours.
Absolutely.
When I say one of ours, I mean the world of wrestling. He's one of the world of wrestling son, not to mention that, but we have a group called the Delegation. That's a collection of some of the greatest in the who's who of African-American wrestlers throughout history. And Shad was a member of the Delegation. And we're going to look out for his boy.
Yeah. That's awesome to hear, man. That's really great. And I'm sorry to bring it up too. I just wanted to hear happy memories about it, you know.
It's world news. It's a part of it.
Yeah.
You know, I know we're not going to be on much longer, and we were saying our goodbyes, but tomorrow is a really, really big day when you start talking about superheroes and things that are unbelievable. I'm on a show called Busted Open on Sirius XM, channel 156.
Heck yeah.
And tomorrow, The Undertaker is going to be on.
Oh, snap. That's going to be amazing.
With me and Dave LaGreca. It's going to be crazy, man.
Okay, I'm tuning in for that, man.
The biggest guest of all time on Busted Open.
That's awesome.
We have Michelle McCool who's going to come on, and then The Undertaker's coming on right after. So with this docu-series going on the network, you know, just inviting everybody to watch the documentary on the network, but also tune in tomorrow on Sirius XM, channel 156, and hear The Undertaker himself get interviewed by myself and Dave LaGreca.
Well, what did you think about his documentary?
I think it's amazing.
Yeah.
I think it's absolutely amazing. And as private of human being as I've ever met, as a matter of fact, he's the most private human being I've ever met. And for this to happen right now is, man, y'all enjoy it. Enjoy it like I'm enjoying it.
I don't know if I can say, I have a mutual friend with Undertaker, and they actually went to, I think it was SeaWorld together a few years ago, and he's got a picture of Undertaker like kissing a dolphin. And it's the most but he's like, I'm not allowed to post this because, you know, it's out of character for him or whatever, but he showed it to me, and I thought it was the best thing I'd ever seen. The most un-Undertaker thing I'd ever seen.
Oh, my God.
Amazing stuff, man.
I think my daughter might have been with them on that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, man, you got a lot of big stuff coming up tomorrow. So, yeah, bust it up tomorrow, and then we got to get you for Darkseid. So we got to get that.
Yeah, let's put that petition out there, man.
We're getting it.
Our Darkseid on.
Yep, we got us our Darkseid. We're gonna give Zack Snyder a call and let him know we found him.
Yeah, give him a call, man. If you got his number, let him know that I do many voices. I've done voices with Disney, Pickle and Peanut. I was Adventure Bear. I've done stuff with the WWE. I did voiceovers for other stuff for Disney. So the voice is there. I got many. You pick which one you want.
Oh yeah, yeah. I've heard your voice.
Give me out there. Give me a shot.
I buy it. I buy it as Darkseid.